Today, we're diving into an ancient idea that could totally change how you see, well, everything.
What if the whole universe was literally one single living being? From stars to stones, all of it.
So here's the plan. We'll break down this vision from its body to the big paradox at its heart. This is the Virāṭ Rūpa, the cosmic being. Okay, let's get into how this whole thing is put together.
First up, the senses. The creator, Brahma, actually maps cosmic forces to how this being perceives reality.
See that? Fire isn't just fire, it's the mouth. Space isn't empty, it's the ears. Kinda cool, right?
Next up, the elements. The very stuff of our world makes up the structure of its body.
So mountains are its bones, rivers are its veins. Nature isn't separate from it, it is it.
Okay, we've got the form. Now what about what it does? Let's look at the limbs and their purpose.
And get this, even big ideas like creation or protection become actual physical body parts.
And from this one singular being, absolutely everything else comes into existence. Yep, everything. Gods, animals, planets, even us. We're all just a part of this one cosmic body.
But this is where it gets a little tricky. Brahma, the creator, runs into a pretty big problem.
He wanted to perform a ritual, but realized everything he could possibly use was already part of the being.
Which means creation becomes this giant loop. The universe is basically worshiping itself with itself.
But hold on. This whole cosmic body idea, turns out that's not the end of the story. Even Brahma says this incredible form is just a shadow, a reflection of something way, way bigger.
So on one hand, you have the universe we can see. On the other, its true source, which is totally unknowable.
And nobody, not even the gods or the wisest sages, can fully get their head around it.
It's a really humble admission, you know? He's basically saying the map isn't the actual territory.
So if the universe is a body, what does that make our consciousness? What are we in all this?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going right to the core of Vedic cosmology. Our source material is Canto 2, Chapter 6 of the sacred text.
And this is a big one.
It really is. What we're looking at here is a systematic 45-verse description given by the creator, Brahma, himself. He's detailing the universal form, the Virāṭ Rūpa.
It's one of the most foundational documents you can find. So our mission, really, is to unpack this complete cosmic blueprint. Brahma is describing ultimate reality not as some, abstract idea, but as a tangible, living, breathing structure.
A structure, right.
The goal here is to show you exactly how every single element of existence, from a deep spiritual truth to, say, a rock, has a designated place within this one supreme form.
Okay, let's dive in. We'll start with what feels almost like a celestial anatomy class.
Yeah.
We're calling this section 1, the cosmic body map. It covers those first 10 verses. And Brahma he systematically maps the anatomy of the Purusha, making this really radical claim that our own physical body is a true microcosm, a tiny universe.
And the aha moment here, I think, is the sheer level of integration. When you read these verses, you realize that everything, from the most basic material element to the most sacred metaphysical function, it all has a single specific origin point in this one body.
It really forces you to rethink what a body even is.
Exactly.
And the connections are, well, they aren't obvious, which is why they're so powerful. Let's start at the top with the sensory organs. The mouth, for instance.
Right.
It's so much more than just where we eat. It's the source of speech, of course, but also of fire, the field of mantras, and, this is critical, the origin of all sacrificial foods.
Both the offerings to the gods and the offerings to ancestors. It's the origin point for all consumption and all sacred communication.
And that pattern just continues.
It does. Functionality is immediately linked to cosmic utility. Take the nose. Yes, it's breath, it's air, but the connections are. They're extraordinary.
Okay, what are we talking about here?
It's the origin of the Ashvinis, the celestial physicians, and that, it links directly to medicinal herbs. That part makes sense.
Right, that tracks.
But then, get this, the nose is also the origin point for deep human emotion, specifically joy and delight.
Wait a second, hold on, joy. In the nose, not the heart or the mind.
In the nose. The text is showing that these fundamental physiological processes have cosmic counterparts. The air we breathe is Vayu, a cosmic force.
I see.
So the nose, as the gateway for that force, becomes the channel for those celestial physicians to bring health, and as a result, that state of well-being we call joy. It's a completely holistic map.
That reframes everything. Okay, moving on quickly to the upper body. The eyes are linked to forms, light, and directly to the sun.
Makes sense.
The ears govern sound, but they're also connected to the directions, to ether, and this is intriguing, to all the great pilgrimage spots.
And what's so consistent here is this link between body parts and the functions of universal maintenance and sacrifice. The skin and the body itself are the vessel of all essential things.
Not just your physical skin.
No, it's the receptacle for everything valuable in the universe. And the skin is linked to touch, yes, but also to the great universal sacrifice, the sarvamatasya.
The sarvamatasya. That term is so important. Can we just pause and translate that?
Absolutely. It literally means the sacrifice of everything. It's this concept that the entire cosmos is sustained by one continuous, all-encompassing ritual.
Wow.
By linking the skin to it, Brahma is saying that the body's role is to facilitate that continuous exchange and surrender that keeps the universe running. Your physical presence is part of the maintenance program.
That's fascinating. And the map continues. It connects our own solid structures to the physical world. The hair, for example, represents all vegetation.
The materials that supply that very sacrifice.
And the bones and nails represent the unmoving elements, like mountains, stones, metals. Even clouds and lightning are found in the body's tough structures.
And the arms are designated as the protectors of the worlds. That sheer physical ability to defend and maintain order is a direct quality of the Supreme Being's form.
Now, Brahma doesn't shy away from the full spectrum of existence. He moves to the extremities and the lower functions, mapping both the generative and the destructive aspects.
Right. If you look at the feet, their steps literally encompass the three worlds: earth, atmosphere, and heaven. They're the ultimate source of refuge, security, and all desired boons. The feet grant stability.
And you contrast that immediately with the genitals, which are purely about expansion, the source of waters, semen, creation, the rain god, and the fundamental joy of procreation.
And then you get the most surprising duality of all, and it's placed on the anus. This isn't just about excretion.
Oh, hello.
It is simultaneously connected to Yama, the god of death, and Mitra, the god of friendship and even liberation, but it also embodies its exact opposite: violence, death, defeat, darkness, and adharma.
So it holds both the path of ultimate release and the path of absolute descent. It's an anatomical reflection of the universe's moral choice, that duality in a single organ.
And Brahma wraps up this physical map internally. The bones are mountains, the rivers and streams are the veins, the abdomen is the unmanifest ocean of taste, and the heart. Well, the heart is the seat of the mind, it's the pivot point.
Okay, so we've mapped the hardware, this complex physical structure. Now we have to talk about the operating system. We're moving into section 2, where Brahma shifts from physical components to the architecture of consciousness and the spiritual hierarchy inside the Purusha.
This is where the concept of the encompassing self really takes over. Brahma first establishes the ultimate support. The self, the Atma, is the final refuge.
The ultimate support.
And this self sustains everything fundamental. Dharma, the forces of creation and destruction, so Brahma and Shiva, great sages, knowledge, goodness, the entire physical body rests on this spiritual foundation.
And he doesn't just sustain the principles, he contains the sheer variety of life. That list it's just completely comprehensive.
It is.
I mean, Brahma lists everyone: gods, demons, serpents, birds, animals, celestial musicians, ghouls. And then he pivots to the inanimate. Planets, constellations, comets, stars, lightning, thunder. It feels like he's saying there is literally nothing that isn't included in this body.
And that leads us to a really critical concept in verses 15 to 17, transcendence. The Purusha is everything past, present, and future. He pervades the entire universe. But
There's a but.
there's a but. The text immediately says he simultaneously transcends it by a small measure, maybe a finger width. It's described as vitastim atitikati.
Okay, why is that detail so important? Why that little bit of transcendence?
Because it clarifies that the ultimate reality is involved, but it's not confined. If he were merely the universe, he'd be subject to its laws, its destruction.
Right.
By transcending it, even by a tiny bit, he retains his independence. He's the Lord of immortality and fearlessness precisely because he has surpassed the realm of mortal, perishable food. He's independent of the cycle.
And that freedom is his majesty.
Which Brahma calls difficult to overcome. Then, the structure of existence itself gets broken down using this famous concept of the 4 quarters, the padas.
And this is key to understanding the cosmic structure.
It really is. All mortal, perishable beings are situated in the feet. Immortality and security, they reside in the heads, the higher spiritual realms. But then the text defines these quarters by lifestyle.
And this is where it becomes highly practical for you, the listener. 3 of the quarters are external. These represent the paths of those without progeny. So the renunciates, the ascetics, those on austere paths. Their focus is outside the material world.
But the single remaining quarter is internal, and this represents the householder life.
The Hamedo.
Exactly. This means the ultimate reality supports the path of the ascetic monk just as completely as it supports the path of a parent raising a family. All vocations are supported.
And the final piece here is the acknowledgement that the Purusha traverses 2 paths, consuming and non-consuming. It's supported by both ignorance, avidya, and knowledge, vidya.
Which tells us that the reality of the cosmos relies on the existence of ignorance as well. It provides the necessary contrast for free will and evolution to even happen.
So we had the map, the hierarchy, the philosophical breadth. Now we move into section 3, the origin of sacrifice, or yajna. Brahma explains how he himself actually operationalized the universe.
Right. Verses 21 and 22 set the scene. The universal egg is born from the Purusha. Brahma originates from the lotus in the navel. When he wakes up to his role as creator, he realizes he needs to perform this primal sacrifice. But he has no raw materials.
He has the know-how, but no ingredients. So he has to source his entire creation from the source itself.
And this leads to what you could call a kind of divine sourcing. Brahma conducts the first yajna by using the limbs and body parts of the Purusha as the resources themselves.
The philosophical point there is just profound. Creation isn't bringing in new stuff, it's a rearrangement of the divine. And the list of items he derives is not just physical stuff, it's an inventory of existence. He sources animals, trees, grass, yes. But he also sources the metaphysical requirements, the land of sacrifice, the various herbs, and crucially, time itself.
Kalashika. Time becomes a resource for the ritual, and he also sources the ritualistic infrastructure. The 3 types of Vedic hymns, the names, the fees paid to priests, every single procedural element needed for a perfect ritual.
The whole system.
The whole system, the sequence of deities, the purpose, the procedures, the final atonement and surrender, everything needed for organized existence comes from that original form.
And the conclusion of this grand original ritual is the ultimate closed loop. Brahma gathered all these components from the Purusha's limbs, and using them, he worshipped the Purusha himself.
Tamevai puru yajanya tenayajam ishvaram. And this act established the eternal pattern. Creation is ritual. Following his example, all the subsequent creators, sages, ancestors, gods, humans, they all perform sacrifices to the Lord. Creation is shown to be not chaotic, but an organized, ritualistic act of maintenance.
Which brings us to the philosophical heart of the chapter, section 4, the final 16 verses. Brahma declares the ultimate reality, and then, in this moment of just, revolutionary humility, he admits the limits of his own knowledge.
Verses 30 to 32 lay out the unchanging basis. The entire universe is established in Bhagavan Naraya, and he emphasizes that while the Lord appears to have many qualities during creation, he is intrinsically without qualities. Advaitasvata.
So Brahma is enforcing a radical non-duality here. Nothing, whether existing or not, exists outside of this ultimate reality.
It's the comprehensive source. He then explains the functional trinity. The Bhagavan acts through 3 powers. Brahma creates by his command, Shiva destroys by his will, and the Lord protects the cosmos himself in the form of the Purusha.
They're functions from a single source.
Exactly. And this sets the stage for Brahma's powerful personal statement. He affirms the purity of his consciousness, his speech is never false, his mind never deviates, because Hari is held in his heart with this intense longing.
But then, right after that, we get the humbling limitation.
Immediately, despite embodying the Vedas, possessing the highest austerity, being a master of yoga, Brahma could not fully understand the source of his own being. He searched, but he could not find the ultimate root of his own existence.
And that's the moment that makes this text so memorable. The primary creator, the embodiment of wisdom, basically saying, I don't know where I came from.
Which raises the question for all of us. If Brahma doesn't know, who possibly could?
Right.
And he confirms the difficulty. He states explicitly that neither he nor Shiva nor the other gods truly know his ultimate essence. And why? Because their minds are deluded by his Maya.
Maya is so often just translated as illusion, but what does it mean here in the context of Brahma's own delusion?
The delusion is specific. Maya causes the gods and us to see the created world as identical to the self. They look at the effects of creation and think the effect is the cause. They confuse the structure with the foundation.
So the goal is to look past the structure. True reality is then defined as as pure, singular, complete knowledge, without beginning, without qualities, eternal and non-dual.
And this truth, Brahma warns, is obscured by illogical arguments. You cannot intellectually argue your way into it. Only sages whose minds and senses are truly calmed and focused can realize this truth.
Brahma then summarizes the Supreme Being's presence through its manifestations. The Purusha is the primary avatar, encompassing time, nature, mind, matter, the static, the dynamic. The message is clear.
The divine presence isn't just in an image, it's in the fundamental operating mechanism of the universe.
And that universality is just brought home so beautifully in verse 44. Anything in the world that possesses great splendor, energy, power, tolerance, wealth, modesty, or wondrous power.
Anything that makes you stop and say, wow.
Exactly. That thing, in its essence, is that supreme reality. Every moment of extraordinary excellence is a direct manifestation of the divine source.
A perfect point.
And Brahma concludes by promising to shift gears. He'll now describe the beautiful, playful incarnations, the Lalavataran of the Purusha, which he says have the power to remove bitterness from the ears.
A lovely way to transition from this intensely structured philosophical breakdown to the engaging narratives of divine pastimes.
What an incredible journey through this chapter. We went from the structured revelation of the macrocosm-microcosm map, where the nose is linked to joy, through the mechanics of that first cosmic sacrifice, and finally to the ultimate philosophical conclusion about the limits of knowledge, even for the Creator.
I think the final takeaway for you is the conceptual weight of this text. Creation is not a chaotic accident. It is an organized, ritualistic act. Every part of the cosmos, from the mountains that are bones to the lightning in the nails, is a constituent element of the divine form.
It's all connected.
And the lesson, which is humbling for everyone, is that all beings, even the highest creators like Brahma, acknowledge their dependence on and the fundamental inscrutability of the ultimate source.
That's incredibly powerful, which leads to our final thought. If Brahma, the creator, who embodies the Vedas and practices the highest austerity, could not fully find the source of his own being, what does that imply about the nature of true knowledge versus the knowledge we acquire through logic or argument or just the physical senses? Does true understanding require not just looking for the source, but a complete internal calming of the senses? Something for you to mull over long after this deep dive is complete.
Indeed.
And with that, this deep dive is complete.
Today, we're going to unpack a truly profound idea from the ancient Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a vision that asks us to imagine the entire cosmos not as a vast, empty space, but as a single, living, breathing entity. And trust me, it's an idea that might just change how you see your place in, well, everything.
So let's just start with this one central question. What if everything you see around you, the stars, the planets, the mountains, every living thing, what if it wasn't just a random collection of stuff, but was actually all part of one single cosmic being?
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll introduce this idea of a universe inside a body. Then, we'll actually look at the cosmic anatomy map. After that, we'll see how all beings fit into this picture, explore the incredible cosmic sacrifice at the heart of creation, and finally, we'll touch on what lies beyond our ability to even understand.
All right, let's dive right in. To understand this, we first need to meet the main character of this whole cosmic story, the Virāṭ Purusha. The Virāṭ Purusha, it basically means the cosmic being, or the universal person. And look, this isn't just some nice poetic metaphor. In this worldview, it's a fundamental truth. The idea is that everything, all matter, all energy, every single form of life, is literally a part of one unimaginably huge entity. And this isn't some modern spin on an old idea either. This vision is laid out clear as day in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, a hugely important Hindu text. And get this, the person describing it all is none other than the creator god, Brahma, as he's trying to wrap his own head around the reality he's supposed to be creating. So if the universe is a body, then what are its parts? Well, this is where it gets really, really cool. The text gives us this stunningly beautiful anatomy map that connects the cosmos to the world we experience every day. Our little tour starts with the mouth. In this vision, it's not just for talking. It's the very origin of cosmic fire and the source of speech itself. It's the universe's primary engine for energy and expression.
And the eyes? Well, they're the sun, our source of light. But they're also more than that. They represent the very idea of vision.
It's through these eyes that the cosmos actually sees itself. Without them, it's all just darkness.
The skin of this cosmic being is the atmosphere itself, the air that connects us all. It's the medium for touch, which means that feeling of the wind on your skin, that's a cosmic sensation.
Now, think about the Earth's circulatory system. All the rivers and streams flowing across the land, they're seen as the veins and arteries of this cosmic person, carrying life-giving water all through its body.
And what holds it all together? The great mountain ranges, the backbones of our continents. They're considered the very bones of the Virāṭ Purusha, its unyielding structural frame.
And here's a brilliant one that really shows the philosophical depth here. The heart of this being, the very center of its form, is the mind, the seat of all cosmic thought, consciousness, and emotion.
Okay, so this cosmic body isn't just made of physical stuff like mountains and rivers. The idea gets even bigger, even more profound, because it includes every single living thing that exists within the universe.
I mean, the scale here is just mind-boggling. Every single form of life and existence. We're talking gods and demons, humans and animals, the smallest blade of grass and the most powerful celestial beings, even things like planets, stars, lightning, and thunder. They all come from and are a part of this one unified being.
So this all-encompassing nature leads to a really fascinating philosophical problem. If the Virāṭ Purusha is everything, how in the world does the creator, Brahma, actually go about the act of creation?
Here's the puzzle, right? Any act of creation, especially a sacred one, needs materials. You need things to offer, tools, a fire. But if literally everything that exists is already part of this cosmic being, where do you get the stuff from? There's nothing outside of it.
And the solution is just, it's beautiful. Brahma has this moment of realization. The materials he needs aren't external. They're the very limbs and parts of the Purusha itself. So he performs the ultimate cosmic sacrifice, using parts of the cosmic being as the offering to the cosmic being. It's this amazing recursive act where the universe literally creates itself from itself.
Okay, so even after we've mapped out this entire cosmic body, the text leaves us with one final awe-inspiring paradox. It draws a very clear line between what we can know and what will always, always be beyond our grasp.
See, on the one hand, the Virāṭ Purusha is the physical universe we can see and map. Its eyes are the sun, its veins are the rivers. This is the part we can kind of understand. But on the other hand, its true essence is something else entirely. It's described as unborn and endless, without any qualities, eternal, and ultimately unknowable, even to the gods, who are themselves a part of it. And this whole idea is captured perfectly in Brahma's own words right from the text. He admits, "We sing of the acts of its incarnations, but we do not know it in its true essence. Salutations to that revered one." It's just this incredible statement of humility in the face of a mystery that's too big to solve.
So, at the end of the day, what's the big takeaway here? The concept of the Virāṭ Purusha is a vision of what you could call radical interconnectedness. It suggests that the cosmos isn't just some cold, dead place we happen to be floating around in. It's a vast, living being, and we are an inseparable piece of it.
And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. If we actually saw the world this way, as one single connected being, how would that change our relationship with the planet, with each other, and with our own tiny but essential place in the universe?